And the first thing that we're going to start with is we are just going to take a moment to sit. So wherever you are, you might sit on a block or on a blanket, or if you've got a zafu, you're just going to sit for a moment. And you'll plant the hands wherever is comfortable for you and sit as tall as you can so that the collarbones can open, the head stacks over the shoulders stack over the hips. And you'll just take a few moments to either soften the gaze down towards the floor or close the eyes completely. And in this moment, all I want you to do is just take a moment to check in with your body, noticing the weight of the hands, noticing the weight of the arms, the legs, the shins, your feet, noticing the weight of the pelvis, the jaw, and then the eyes in the socket. And then as these things are just simply softening and melting down towards the floor, find a sense of opposition. So the lift up through the vertebra of the spine, maybe the buoyancy in the armpits, a lift up through the ears, and maybe the crown of the head. And for these first few breaths that you're here, I just encourage you to just check in and notice how the body is. So we've established a sense of rootedness, a sense of lift. And then notice how you can just start to deepen the breath and notice what that does, making the breath maybe 3 or 4 counts in and 3 or 4 counts out. And you might find that the breath wishes to be longer than that in this moment in time. And you go ahead and allow the breath to become just a little bit longer and deeper. So this first one is just for a check-in, so you can see what the body is doing and how the breath and the mind are doing. And we'll come back to it at some point, and I'll just ask you to notice what you notice then. Very gently, you'll start to lower your chin towards your chest and allow your eyes to softly flutter open. And then from there, go ahead and bring your head back to vertical. And we'll go ahead and grab our strap. So from here, you can either, well, let's all stand up, and that'll probably make it easier depending upon how long your arms are. So we'll go ahead and stand tall. And you can do a bit of prep work if you'd like, and just plant both of your blocks on the highest setting towards the upper corner of your mat. And then your blanket can go in the middle of your mat. Awesome sauce. All right, so then we'll take our strap and we'll bring it in front of us. And I encourage you to just take the buckle and hold it in one hand. And then you'll slide the other hand out so that your hands are wider than your shoulders. Go ahead and separate your feet so they're at least hip distance apart. And the first thing that you'll do is just lightly pull on your strap so it's taut. And we'll just take about 4 sets of these. So you'll inhale and reach your arms up and overhead, and exhale, draw arms back behind you. Now, we haven't done this type of work in a while, so I encourage you to move slowly. And then you'll inhale and come back up. And exhale, come back forward. And you'll do about 3 more. So if you need to adjust your hands, sliding it a little wider apart, by all means, do that. And you're just observing how the hands work, seeing if both hands, both shoulders can rotate at the same rate. And you're just following your breath. Noticing if crackle, snap, and pop are joining you today from the Rice Krispie treats. And then the next time your arms are back behind you, go ahead and keep them so they're parallel to the floor. So it's like you're on the top of a ship. You're the little lady that's on the front looking forward, or you're having a Titanic moment. I don't know. But you're going to pull the strap apart lightly. Let your palms face up. Root down through your tailbone, and then just breathe as you notice stuff happening across the front of your chest. You might sway a little bit right to left if that feels good, but you're allowing the shoulders to descend down the back as you're breathing across the front of your chest, pulling wide on your strap. And then gently, bring your hands down to your butt. Switch the clasp of your hands. So now your palms are facing back. And you're just going to slide that strap up, like for some reason this has just become a towel, and now it's at the space behind your lowest ribs. And then just start to walk your hands all the way out. We've just got about 3 of these here. So all you're going to do is lightly pull your strap forward. Inhale, push your front ribs into your back ribs into the strap. So inhale, breathe into the strap. Exhale, front ribs back, press into the strap. One more time. Inhale, big breath. Exhale, front ribs back, ribs back. Awesome sauce. Go ahead and release that. Last thing, strap is now going to come behind the back of your head. Don't worry, we'll come back to these things a little bit later. And you're holding it so the strap is just behind your ears. And you want to make sure it's long enough that your arms can be straight. So for my neck people especially, we're going to keep that same thing that we were doing with breathing into the back ribs. Slight bend into your knees. And you're just going to push your head back into the strap, pull your thumbs forward, and notice elongation through the tail and a lengthening up through the crown. And you've just got about 3 to 4 breath cycles here. Sometimes it feels good to just lean the head back, reach the arms forward, and a slight upper back bend happens, and it's really slight. And then maybe once you get to the height or the apex of what this feels like for you, you might just take 3 breath cycles there. Again, pulling the strap forward, pushing the head back, nice, steady breaths. Awesome sauce. Gently come back to center, release the strap, and just notice what you notice in the chest, in the head, and the shoulders. Awesome sauce. Okay, let's say bye to the strap for a little while. And then this is just choreography that you'll need a little bit later. So go ahead and stand at the top of your space. Feet are hip distance apart, and bring your hands to heart center. Okay, so you'll inhale and sweep your arms up and overhead. As you exhale, press the palms together and draw the hands down to your sternum. Inhale, press your sternum into your thumbs, broaden through the collarbones, lean back slightly with the gaze. And then exhale, release the hands, draw the front ribs in and back like you're pressing into that strap. We've got 4 of these. So inhale, big circle with the arms. Exhale, hands press to heart center. Inhale, press the sternum into the thumbs, broaden the collarbone, slightly lift the gaze. And then exhale, front ribs to back body, back ribs back. We've got 2 more of these. So inhale, circle sweeping the arms. Exhale, pressing the palms, drawing them into heart center as the navel draws back. Inhale, pressing the sternum forward, lifting through the inner armpits, broadening through the collarbones. And then exhale, releasing the hands alongside your hips. Last set. Inhale, circle sweep the arms. Exhale, hands to heart center, tailbone lengthens down, belly draws in. Inhale, collarbones lift, crown lifts, sternum lifts. And then exhale, release the hands to the floor. Awesome sauce. Bring your hands now to your bum. Inhale, heart and sternum lift. And then exhale, bend your knees, slide your hands down the backs of the thighs, coming all the way to the floor. As you inhale, slide your hands up the fronts of your shins, lift your head halfway, spine halfway. And then exhale, slide the hands down, bend the knees as much as you need to, fold all the way back in. Inhale, back of heart lifts, come all the way back up, hands slide up the backs of your legs. And then we've got 4 more sets of these. Exhale, bending the knees, hinging at the hips, sliding the hands down the backs of your legs. Inhale, slide the hands up the fronts of the legs, lift the spine parallel to the floor, chin tucks to chest. Exhale, scoop the belly, bend the knees, slide down towards your feet. Inhale, slide up the backs of the legs, lift the back of the heart, come all the way to stand. Awesome sauce. You got 2 more sets on your own. Exhale, fold in, bending the knees as much as you need to, keeping the spine really straight and strong. Inhale, coming up halfway, crown reaches forward, pubic bone reaches back. Exhale, scoop all the way in, fold all the way in. And then inhale, return to stand. Awesome sauce. You got 1 more set. Next, exhale, fold all the way in. Seeing if you can keep the shoulders open even as you come in. Inhale, coming up halfway. And exhale, folding in. Nice job. Pause here. Inhale, bring your hands to your blocks. And then exhale, see if you can fold in just a little bit more. Next inhalation, halfway lift, spine parallel to the floor, fingers press into blocks. And then exhale, step your right leg long and back. Pause. As you inhale, lower your back knee to the floor, lift your gaze. As you exhale, straighten both legs, shift your butt back, little modified pyramid pose. So we're going to do this about 4 times. So inhaling, coming forward, both knees bent. Exhale, shifting back, both legs straight. And you're just noticing how the hips feel as you go in and out of these shapes. We're using a bigger range of motion today just to see if we can get things a little bit warmer, a little bit faster. And so you're just observing how this goes for you. Great, you got 2 more sets on your own. Continue to just pulse forward and back with your breath. Nice job, last set. Great. The next time your right knee is down, pause there. You might want to walk the left foot back a little bit. You might want to walk both blocks back a little bit. Encourage blocks on highest setting if you're using them. And then you'll press through the front foot, push through the back knee, hug those points together to bring your spine up to vertical. From there, our right hand is just going to inhale and shift forward, reach up. And exhale, reach forward to come down, shift back. We've got 3 more of these. So just inhale, reaching the right arm up. And exhale, lowering the right hand down. And as we continue these last 2 sets, see if you can keep closing your front ribs down and in, or down and back if that feels like a better cue. And we got 1 more. Awesome sauce. All right, inhale, reach your right arm forward and up. As you exhale, bring your left hand to the front of your ribs, press them down to your pelvis and back and in towards your spine. Now press down into your front foot, push down into your back knee, hug those points together. And you are happy as a clam to stay there. You're also happy as a clam to grab the block on the left side of your body. And this is very slight. Inhale, reach up through your top arm, and over the next 4 breath cycles, you'll start to lean towards the left. And it's really slow and incremental. So you'll notice that every exhalation might allow you to deepen the side bend towards the left, but we're doing it in small incremental stages, continuing to hold the front ribs in, continuing to reach out through your right fingers and press down through your right knee. And then soften any tension around your neck or shoulders on the right side. Awesome sauce. Next in-breath, come up with just the right arm. And then as you exhale, right hand comes to the block. If you walked the blocks back, shift them forward, tuck the back toes under, straighten the back leg long, and then go ahead and straighten the front leg long. And you'll just take a moment to pause here and say, hello, hammies. Inhale, bend your front knee and step yourself forward as you exhale. Awesome sauce. Let's go ahead and try that on the other side. So inhale, halfway lift, fingers on blocks, spine parallel to the floor. Exhale, bend your knees, step your left leg long and back. And then as you inhale, lower your back knee to the floor, look forward. And then as you exhale, straighten both legs and shift your bum back. And you've got 4 cycles of these. And notice how smooth and fluid you can make this, almost like a rippling of a wave through your spine. And you're just paying attention to the breath. The inhale draws you forward into that Asana. The exhale presses you back into that modified pyramid pose. We've got one more set. Awesome sauce. And then the next time you're forward in that Asana position, pause. Perhaps you walk your blocks back. And then you're going to start to walk your spine up to vertical. Now again, press into your front foot, push into your back knee, hug those points together. And then as you inhale, your left arm will come forward and up. And as you exhale, the arm will come down. And you've got 3 more of these, and you might shift the pelvis forward just an inch as you reach up through the left arm, and then shift the pelvis back just an inch as you come back. But you're just paying attention to how the breath is working in your body. And especially my people with neck stuff going on, neck and shoulders, it's very interesting, the relationship between our hips and our shoulders. A lot of times you can have an imbalance in the hips. It's causing the tension in the shoulders and thus in the neck. So we're just going to see how that goes. All right, so the next time your left arm reaches up, you'll pause. Draw the right hand to the front ribs. Draw the ribs down and back and in. Again, push into your front foot, your right foot, push into your back knee, your left knee, hug those points together. And then you might stay right there or grab the block on the right side. And over the next 4 breath cycles, you incrementally side bend to the right. And as you're doing this, I encourage you to continue to lengthen the tailbone down. Draw those front ribs in and back and see if you can lengthen out of the spine to side bend to the right. So instead of just collapsing or crunching, you're finding extension and space between the vertebrae. And you're just breathing on the left side as you continue to pull the left knee into the right foot back to the left knee. Awesome sauce. Next in breath, come up just with the left hand. As you exhale, lower the hand to the block. Bring both hands to the block, shift your blocks forward, tuck the back toes under, straighten the back leg long, and then straighten the front leg long, shifting your pelvis back. And you'll just pause and breathe there for a moment in that pyramid pose. Awesome sauce. All right, inhale, come forward, low lunge. This time, exhale, plant your palms on your mat and step yourself back to downward facing dog. Great. Now, listen very closely. Can most of you walk your feet back about 2 inches? It's gonna sound super weird. Yep. Awesome sauce. Now, inhale, come forward into plank pose, shoulders over wrists, reach back through your heels. Great. Exhale, scoop the belly, lift back to downward facing dog. We got 4 of these. So you're just going to follow these with your breath. Inhale, tailbone reaches back, chin curls into chest, unroll your spine like a wave in the ocean. Yep. Exhale, scoop the belly, lift the hips, downward facing dog. Yep, and as you take this 2 more times, continue to lift up through your happy inner armpits as you come forward. They're buoyancy, little balloons floating up. And then as you come back to down dog, they lift even higher to lift your hips up and back. Nice job. Last one. Inhale, coming into plank. And exhaling back to downward facing dog. Awesome sauce. All right, let's add on. Inhale, come forward into plank. Pause here, press down through the tips of your fingers, press down into the knuckle pads, and then see if you can find a little bit of space around the heel of your hand as though I wanted to slide a piece of paper under there. Now lift up through the armpits even more. Yep. Reach your sternum and your crown forward. Yep. And then lengthen your tailbone back. Awesome sauce. Now, next in-breath, shift your weight forward, and in the race between your head and your heart, the heart wins the race to the floor. Heart wins the race to the floor. Heart wins the race to the floor. Nice job. All right. From here, extend the tops of the feet onto the floor. Walk your hands back and bring your hands alongside your hips. Turn your palms down to face the floor. Great. Now from here, let's start by making sure feet are hip distance apart, and then press into the tops of your toenails, press down into your pubic bone and energize those legs. Next, in-breath, shrug the shoulders up towards your ears, and then draw the shoulder blades onto your back. Great. Keep that, lift your ears in line with the tops of your shoulders. Awesome sauce, keep that. Next, in-breath, walk your hands back and wide to start to lift your chest even higher up and away from the floor. Pause, keep that. Over the next 2 breath cycles, I want you to imagine that you could breathe into your sternum forward or down and forward, and see if that allows you to lift the chest a little bit higher up and away from the floor. Yep, keep pressing into the tops of your feet. This is going to sound super weird. I know that ahead of time. Bend your elbows, just bend your elbows. Fingers still stay on the floor. Fingertips are touching on the floor. Great. Over the next 4 breath cycles with the elbows bent, I want you to start to, so the arms are still long behind you. The elbows didn't walk in too much. There you go. Just squeeze the shoulder blades onto your back like you're trying to let your elbows kiss behind you. And you've got 4 breath cycles like that. So you inhale, you lengthen back, you lengthen forward through your crown, you exhale, you squeeze the shoulder blades onto the back, the elbows come towards each other. Now we're just saying hello, rhomboids, hello, middle trapezius, hello, upper trapezius. And a lot of you, I want you to make sure that you're still lengthening evenly through the back of your neck. So you might need to tuck your chin to your chest just a little. There we go. And you've got 2 more little squeezes of the shoulder blades. Awesome sauce. Next in-breath, lift a little higher, press down and into the tops of your feet. And then exhale, lower all the way down. Great. Bring your hands alongside your lowest ribs. Tuck your toes under. Yogi's choice, tabletop or plank. Inhale, come up. And exhale, downward facing dog. Now for this down dog, let's go ahead and separate our feet about hip distance apart. Yep, bend both knees quite a bit. Awesome sauce. Keep your right knee bent. Reach your left heel towards the floor and then spin your left heel in towards your right foot. Just pause and breathe and say hello to your calf. You might bend the right knee even more and maybe peer underneath the left armpit if that feels good, drawing the left hip back, little side body bow. Yep. And then let's go ahead and come back to center. Bend both knees. Reach the right heel back and then spin the right heel in towards the left foot. Maybe bend the left knee even more. Look underneath your happy right armpit as you find a nice rib stretch on the right side. Awesome sauce. All right, let's come back to center. We're going to do just part of that. So bend your right knee a lot. Reach your left heel back and spin your left foot to the floor, but don't let the hips shift. Yeah. Now from here, inhale, gaze to your hands, and exhale, step the right foot between your hands. Awesome sauce. highly encourage hands to come on blocks. So we're prepping for warrior one. That back foot's already there, and you're like, oh, Jessica, this is not what I imagined. And so we're going to pause here. So the left foot's already prepped. Draw the outer right hip back. Yep. And then from here, see if you can lift your spine parallel to the floor or on a diagonal coming up and away from that front knee. Awesome sauce. Push down into your back foot, push down into your front foot. As you inhale, squeeze those legs together and bring your spine all the way up to vertical. Keep the front knee bent for just a moment. Nice work. Okay. Go ahead and straighten your front leg and lower your arms alongside your hips. All right, now we're going to imagine we're Aladdin going on a magic carpet ride for some reason. But as you inhale, you'll bend the front knee, unfurl your yoga mat, coming forward and up and alongside your ears. And then exhale, straighten the front leg, shifting the weight back, lowering both arms down. And you got 4 of these. So inhale, unroll your yoga mat, arms reach forward and up, gaze lifts in line with your head spine thing. And then exhale, straighten the front leg, lower the arms down. Awesome sauce. You got 2 more of those. Unfurling your yoga mat, reaching out through the fingers, finding a diagonal through the spine. And then exhale, shifting the weight back, straightening the front leg. And last one. Arms are coming forward, leaning forward, finding one diagonal from head, through shoulders, through hips, through back heel. And exhale, coming back. Awesome sauce. We're going to add that choreography from the beginning. So inhale, come forward one more time. Front knee is bent. As you exhale here, really press into the back foot. Draw your front ribs in and back. Take a big breath in here. As you exhale, hands come to heart center. Inhale, push your sternum into your thumbs. Lift up through the collarbones. And then exhale, lower the hands alongside your hips. Inhale, circle, sweep the arms up and overhead. Exhale, hands come through heart center, front ribs draw back, tailbone lengthens down. Inhale, lift into collarbones, lift through the ears. Exhale, lower the arms. Okay, 2 more times. And I want you to focus these last 2 times on really trying to cultivate the breath in the heart space. So this is called, well, we're working on the prana vayu. We're trying to send it up into your heart space. And exhale, lowering it down. And we're also trying to engage the samana vayu, which is the energy that helps us really digest life experiences. So prana is for inspiration, creativity. Samana is for taking all the experiences we have and digesting them. Awesome sauce. Go ahead and straighten the front leg. And then pause here. Make sure your hips are still square to the front of your mat. Inhale, reach both arms up and overhead. And as you exhale, hinge forward at the hips, reaching the fingers down and forward towards the blocks. And suddenly we're back in pyramid pose. And notice if this feels any different. Nice work, guys. Inhale, bend the front knee. And then exhale, plant your palms and step back, downward facing dog. Just pause and notice what you notice on this side. How does the right side feel compared to the left? How does the left feel compared to the right? Great. Let's go ahead and try the other side. Let's bend your left knee quite a bit. Reach your right heel back. Spin your right heel in towards the left foot and straighten your right leg long. Then inhale, gaze to your hands, and exhale, step your left foot between your hands. Yeah, nice job, guys. Hands might come to blocks here, opportune moment for that. And then just pause. Imagine that you're a runner at the start of your race. So really push down into that back foot. Reach your heart and sternum forward parallel to the floor, maybe even on a diagonal if that's appropriate for you. And then draw that outer left hip straight back. Next in-breath, squeeze through the legs to bring your spine all the way up to vertical. Arms reach up. Warrior one. Nice job, guys. Pause. Continue to draw the left hip back, draw the front ribs back, and maybe lean your torso forward just a little bit in front of the hips. Nice job. Next, exhale, straighten the front leg and lower both arms alongside your hips. Great. Now we've got 4 little carpet rolls. So you'll inhale, roll your carpet forward, arms reach up, bend the front knee. And then exhale, lower the arms, straighten the front leg, lean back. We've got 3 more of those. And as you inhale, notice if you can breathe into the collarbones, into the chest, into the backs of the ribs. And as you exhale, draw the low ribs in. Nice, Barbara. And as you take these last 2 sets, see if you can elongate your breath just a little bit. Roberta, keep your gaze up as best as you can. Yep. Sandy, keep your gaze up as best as you can. Nice, Laura. Nice, Julie. Nice, Jenny. Nice, Erica. Good job, guys. Okay, you guys are awesome. All right, the next time you inhale and come forward into that Aladdin Warrior One shape. Yeah, that's a real good reference. You're gonna press into the back foot a little bit more. Keep drawing your front ribs in and back and lengthen your tailbone down. Yep. Next, exhale, hands come to heart center. Yep. Inhale, push your sternum into your collarbones, lift through the heart, lift the gaze just a bit. Yep, there you go. Exhale, lower the hands alongside your hips. Inhale, circle, sweep the arms up and overhead. And then exhale, press the palms in, draw the front ribs back, lengthen tailbone back. Inhale, sternum lifts, collarbones broaden, armpits lift. Exhale, lower the arms alongside your hips. So you've got 2 more on your own, and you're following the rate of your breath. We're trying to send the energy specifically into the collarbone space, underneath collarbones and above your navel center. Nice job, guys. Continue to hear the sound of your breath as you do this last set. Awesome sauce. The end of your last exhalation, you'll lower the hands alongside your hips, straighten that front leg long. And then from here, make sure your hips are square to the top of your space. Inhale, reach your arms up and over your head. Exhale, draw that left hip back, reach out through both fingers, coming forward into a pyramid pose. Nice job. Pause here for a moment and just pause and breathe. Next, in breath, bend that front knee, plant your hands on your mat, and exhale, step back, downward facing dog. Awesome sauce. Let's see how this goes. Inhale, come forward into plank. Now, pause here. Push down so much through your hands that you feel your inner armpits lift up and away from the floor. Notice how you have to shift your weight back towards your feet just a little bit to do that. Keep that. Now walk your feet to touch. Keep lifting through your inner armpits. Roll to the knife edge of your left foot. Pause. Stack your right hip on top of the left. So you're in this weird twist. Both hands are still on the floor. Yep. Engage the belly on the left side. And then you can stay here or reach your right arm up. Keep lifting through the inner left armpit, pushing down through the index finger and thumb. Awesome sauce, guys. When you're ready, you'll lower that right hand back down to the floor. Come back to that plank position. And again, just as we did before, push down through the hands, lift up through the armpits, and you have to shift your weight back just a bit. Keep the feet together, roll to the knife edge of your right foot. Keep pushing down through the left hand a lot. Lift your hips a little bit more on the right side, Sandy. There you go. And then maybe you stay here, or maybe you lift that left arm up, but you're lifting up through that inner armpit. Nice, Julie. Nice, Roberta. Nice, Erica. Nice, Laura. Nice, Jenny. Nice, Barbara. Nice, Sandy. Nice job, guys. Okay, and then when you're ready, come back down. Lower your knees to the mat. Rest for a moment in child's pose before we add one more thing on. And you're just pausing and you're breathing and you're noticing what you notice. The thing I've been paying attention to this morning is noticing when my mind chooses to think thoughts that are helpful for me and when it chooses to not do that. And so I want you to just notice what came up for you as we did that. All right, let's add on. Let's come forward. Well, move on. Let's come forward to plank pose once again. And again, shoulders are underneath, or rather, wrists are underneath shoulders. You're pressing down into the tips of your fingers and the knuckle pad, lifting up through your happy inner armpits. You could choose to stay right here, reaching your sternum forward, your crown forward, your tailbone back. You might choose to walk your feet together, and you might choose to lift your left leg off of the floor, and like a rocket or a speeding ship or train or something, your left leg is hovering off the floor. You're reaching forward through the crown. You're flexing through that bottom foot. Awesome sauce. Gently lower the left leg down, and we'll try that on the right side. So maybe you stay in plank, or maybe you lift that right leg up, reaching it back, reaching forward through the sternum. Keep pressing down through the palms, lifting through the inner armpits. Awesome sauce. Lower that right leg down, bend your knees, and start to crawl back to your feet. Bend your knees and start to crawl back to your feet. Let your head drop. There you go. And so when you find yourself back and forward fold, we've been in this shape before. You can separate your feet as much as you need to, but just notice what it feels like here. See if you can draw your chin to your chest a little bit more. Yep, and let the head just drop. Awesome sauce. All right. Let's go ahead and move on. Make sure your feet are about hip distance apart. Inhale, slide your hands up your shins, lift your spine parallel to the floor. Pause, bend your knees as much as you need to in order to really reach your pubic bone back, in order to really reach your crown forward and draw your turtle head out of your turtle shell. Awesome sauce. From here, let's bring our hands to our hips. Pull your thumbs back, your hip creases back, bend your knees, and bring your spine to a vertical chair position. Awesome sauce. From there, hands can either come to heart center, or you can reach your arms up and alongside your ears, but you'll sit for chair pose for about 3 to 5 breaths. And as best as you can, imagine that you're still pressing your sternum into your thumbs if your hands aren't there. Broaden through the collarbones, lift through the neck, and sit low through your hips. Yeah, nice job. Next in breath, reach up, look up, stand up. And exhale, open the arms. Yay! Okay. Cross your right leg in front of you like, I don't know, you're a teenager waiting casually somewhere. So your right leg comes over your left leg. And then go ahead and open your arms out to the right and left. Give yourself a hug with your right arm underneath, left arm on top. Now from here, you might just lift the elbows in line with the tops of the shoulders. You might bring the backs of the hands to touch. You might bring the palms to touch, whatever is good for you. And then you'll start to bend your left knee, and then that coincidentally bends the right knee as well. And you might just stay here with the right foot on the floor. You might lift the right leg up and try to tuck it behind the back of the left calf. But we'll just notice what's happening here in Garudasana. Nice job, guys. And you'll just pause and breathe. And on your next in-breath, straighten your left leg, unwind your arms, and unwind your right leg. Nice job. That was very graceful. I liked that. Okay, and then we're going to try that on the other side. So your left leg comes in front. Open your arms out to the right and to the left. Give yourself a hug, wrapping the left arm underneath. And then you might lift the elbows in line with the tops of the shoulders. You might bring the backs of the palms, the fronts of the palms to touch. Bend your right knee. Maybe the left toes stay over there to the right. Maybe the leg lifts and maybe it creeps behind the back of your right calf. Wherever you are, notice if you can continue to breathe. Notice where your mind goes and see if you can draw it back to the breath, back to this moment. Wobbles are okay. Nice work. Next in-breath, straighten the right leg. Unwind the arms and unwind the left leg. Okay, go ahead and shake things out if you'd like. And then this next thing is not going to be fun, but I hope you appreciate it later on. Go ahead and grab both of your blocks. Okay, so I have pretty narrow shoulders, so I can use one block most of the time, but I think 2 blocks is really good for us. So you're just going to bring your blocks in front of you like this, and notice how you can press into them. And you want to press into them where the blocks sort of lock in shape because you're pressing evenly through the right and the left, right? That makes sense. So now they're going to come behind you though. And now because we can't see them, for some reason that automatically makes that a little bit harder. So now that your hands are back behind you, you still want to be able to press into them the same way. And so my palms are on the block, and you'll notice that from here, you can start to draw the shoulders onto your back body, lengthen your tailbone down and bend your knees just a little bit so you don't lock out the joints. Great. Now imagine that your sternum is lifting back up into your palms. So we got that whole thing going on. Great. So you're going to keep all this activation on your arms. Your hands or your butt block thing, there's space between your butt and your blocks. So your elbows are slightly bent here as you hug the shoulder blades onto the back. And then you're going to draw all the weight onto your right leg, lift your left leg up, and we're going to take a Neil Armstrong step forward. As you come forward onto the left leg, start to lift onto the ball, the big toe mound of the right toes, and you might start to hinge forward, bending into that left leg as you lift the right leg parallel. Keep the blocks from touching your tuchus and squeeze the shoulder blades on your back. Reach your heart and sternum forward. Nice job. As you're ready, gently come up like a little drinking bird. Awesome sauce. If you're at the top of your mat, lower that leg down and then step to the back of your mat. And we got to try all that on the other side. So we're trying to engage the backs of the muscles so that they have to work. All of our sitting and crunching over doesn't help a lot, but I think that that's also causing a lot of neck and shoulder pain. So we'll reinvestigate the arms. The elbows are slightly bent. The shoulder blades are hugging onto the back body and you're pressing your hands lightly into the block. And then I think the last time we stepped forward with our left leg. So we'll this time step forward with our right, or you do whichever one is the opposite. So Neil Armstrong, step forward. You'll come to the tips of your back toes and then start to penche or hinge forward in order to lift that back leg parallel to the floor, squeezing the elbows towards each other, shoulder blades onto the back, pressing into the blocks. Awesome sauce. And when you're ready, you'll gently come out of the shape. Say bye-bye to the blocks. We won't be doing that again. And then I want you to just shake out your shoulders. Notice what you notice in the body. Okay. Now let's go ahead and turn to face the long edge of our mat and separate your feet about 3 feet apart. Make sure your feet are parallel towards each other, so it might need to be a little bit wider for you depending upon how open your hamstrings are. And then your hands will be on your hips. Draw the shoulder blades onto the back, lift the heart and sternum up. And then as you exhale, scoop the belly and start to hinge forward halfway. From there, you'll pause, release your hands one at a time to the floor so they're underneath your shoulders. Awesome sauce. Shift all of your weight over to your right leg, just bend your right knee, press onto the outside edge of your left pinky toe, and you might stay there, drawing your turtle head out of your turtle shell. Or you might start to walk your hands forward just a bit. So you're like almost in a, I don't know, down dog, weird skandasana prep position. And you're just pausing and breathing wherever you happen to feel sensation. It might be on the inside edge of your left leg. It might be around the outside edge of your right bum. Awesome sauce. And then if you walk the hands forward, walk the hands back. Go ahead and straighten the right leg long. Shift all of the weight over to your left leg, bending the left knee. Keeping your spine parallel to the floor. You're drawing your sternum forward, your chin back just a bit, and you might stay there, or you might walk your hands forward about a foot, coming for this, I don't know, down dog skandasana type of position. Yep. And then on your next in-breath, if you walk the hands forward, walk them back. Straighten both legs, and you can go ahead and fold in for a moment, just feeling what Prasarada Padottanasana feels like now. And if it feels like you would like to shift around a little bit, by all means, go ahead and do that for about 3 or 4 breath cycles. And you're just pausing in your breathing. We want to start to notice what it is that we sort of go to on autopilot. Our thoughts are very much, I liked this analogy one of my students gave me this week. They were talking about their thoughts, and they said instead of thinking of your thoughts as the clouds that are passing in the sky, they like to think of the thoughts as being a plane that goes through the sky. And sometimes there's a pilot navigating those thoughts, and sometimes those planes are just going around on autopilot. And so we're just noticing what we're doing moment by moment so that we can direct ourselves so that we can get to the destination we wish to get to. All right, if you're moving around, please come to center, please come to stillness. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders and then start to wiggle walk your feet in just a little bit. From here, turn your heels in, your toes out, bend your knees and plop a squat for goddess pose. So hands on the tops of your thighs if you'd like. Hands can come to heart center if you'd like. We've got about 5 to 10 breath cycles here. So your thighs are about parallel-ish to the floor. They might be a little lower, they might be a little higher, but we're going for roughly a 90-degree angle in our knees. And there you go. And the spine can be as vertical as it can be. Some of you will stay here, hands and heart center. Some of you will just keep your hands on your thighs and be like, yep, I'm gonna hang out here and stretch the inner thighs. You're doing whatever you're wanting to do for the next 3 to 4 breath cycles. And you're just pausing in your breathing. Where does your thought normally go? Does it go to seeing the best in life, the best of possibilities, the best of every situation? Or do you have worrywart moments? I have lots of worrywart moments, and it's just interesting to notice that. And so you're just going to pause. And if those of you who had your hands on your thighs, please bring them to heart center, and we'll stay here for the last 2 to 3 breath cycles. And those of you who've been here the whole time, hooray for you. Let's notice what our thoughts are, notice where our breath is. On your next inhalation, you'll push down through the feet. Go ahead and straighten your legs long. Notice the sensation that's built and then it's probably dissipated. And then you'll turn your toes forward so your feet are parallel to the short edges of your mat, and then step or hop your feet together. Bloop. Nice work. All right, let's plop a squat, put your buns on the floor. And I would encourage you to sit on a blanket if your low back or your hamstrings happen to be pretty tight. And then we've got all of our fun props somewhere nearby in case we wish to use them. Great, okay. So let's start by coming to Baddha Konasana, so soles of the feet together. Great. And this, all you're going to do here is, again, you're pulling your hands back. The heart is coming forward as though you're pressing into your hands that are resting here. And as though you're squeezing those blocks behind you, the elbows are slightly hugging in. Draw the chin back as though you're holding onto that strap once again. And just take a moment to pause and breathe and see how you are here. Great. From here, let's go ahead and open our right leg out to the right. And then you might bring your hands to the back of the left calf, pull the flesh up and away from you in order to slide that left foot closer to your perineum. Great. Check in with your right foot, make sure the foot is flexed, the toes and the kneecap are pointing straight up to the sky. And then from here, hands will come in front of you and you might just hinge forward halfway. Again, we want to see if our sternum is lifting towards our chin is drawing in towards our sternum, our heart is staying open the whole time. And you might choose to stay here if this feels like enough of a stretch happening on the inside edge of your right leg. You might go a little bit further and you've got your blocks here that you can walk your blocks forward if you'd like to lower the forearms down to the blocks and just pause and breathe and notice what's happening there. And you've just got 2 more breath cycles. Make sure the right leg is still active. The kneecap is pulling up. The right heel is pushing down. And if you're happy as a clam here, by all means, stay here. Otherwise, some of you will walk your right block to the inside edge of your right leg. You can also just put your forearm on the floor. It depends upon how mobile you are. And then you'll reach your left arm up and overhead. And as you start to take the side bend, you might notice that the right hand now can come behind the right leg. And you're seeing if you can keep the right chest as open as the left chest is open as the right chest. So we're not rounding in, we're just taking a side bend. Draw the left ear away from your left shoulder. Yep. And you can choose to stay there, happy as a clam, or maybe bring your left hand to the inside edge of your right foot, right hand to the outside edge of your right foot. And then just take your chin towards your chest, maybe your head towards your shin. And you'll just pause and breathe here for Janu Shirshasana. Keep engaged on that right foot, pressing out through the big toe mound as you pull back through the 4th and 5th. And then notice if you can breathe on the left low back a little bit more, space between your ribs and your hips. Awesome sauce. Very gently, if you're in that revolution or Janu Shirshasana, start to walk your hands back towards your pelvis, bring your spine up to vertical. If you've got your blocks, you might need to move them for just a moment. Then you'll slide your left foot forward. You'll hug your right knee in, so you're back to Baddha Konasana. And you'll just see how you're doing here. And then we'll go ahead and switch sides. So now your left leg extends out to the left. Hands come to the back of the right calf. Move the flesh up and away from you to draw the right heel closer to the perineum. So the top of the right foot is on the floor. And then if you're using those blocks, they can come in front of you. Check in with your left foot before you go anywhere. Press out through the big toe mound, pull back through the 4th and 5th toe mound. The kneecap draws up, the toes point up, the knee points up. And then you might start to just hinge forward and walk your hands forward. You might use the blocks or not, but wherever you are, see if you can keep the front of your spine as long as possible. So sometimes it tends to round in, but see if you can keep it as long as possible. And if you're happy as a clam here, by all means, please stay here. Some of you may choose to then take the side bend. So maybe you use that left block underneath the left hand, walking the left hand towards the left leg and reaching your right arm up and overhead. And again, just like we did in Anjaneyasana, this can be a very slight side bend. It doesn't have to be extreme. It can be very tiny. But you want to make sure that your chest stays open and that you're drawing the left ribs forward and under, the right ribs up and back. Melt across your left shoulder, soften across your right shoulder. Nice work, guys. Happy as a clam, stay there. Otherwise, right hand comes to the inside edge of left leg, left hand comes to the outside edge of left leg. Scoop the belly up on the left side especially, and then draw your chin to your chest as you start to walk or hinge forward here. And again, as you're here, notice how engaged that left leg is. Can you draw more breath into the back body, especially on the right side, especially between the ribs and the hips? You're good, Laura. And then very gently, if you're in Janu Shirshasana, walk the hands back, bring the spine up to vertical. If you've got blocks in front of you, go ahead and remove them. Draw your right foot forward, draw your left foot in, and you'll just take a moment to pause here. So pulling the hands back, drawing the sternum and the heart forward. Awesome sauce. All right, let's add on. Hands come to the outer edges of the thighs, close the legs together and extend the legs long. You can pitter patter your legs, flopping them up and down if that feels good to you. You can also roll the ankles a few times if that feels good to you. And maybe roll the shoulders a few times if that feels good to you. Great. Okay. Grab your strap. And you're going to take the tail end of your strap, feed it through both loops, over the first one, under the second, and make a loop. And you won't need this immediately. It's just better if we do it while you're sitting up. And then go ahead and lie down on your backs once you've got that sorted. Make sure you've got both of your blocks somewhere nearby in your blanket, somewhere nearby. Okay. And the first thing that we'll do once we lay down on our backs is go ahead and bend both knees and plant your feet firmly on the floor. And then walk your feet outside of your hips. Walk your feet outside of your hips. Great. Imagine that your feet are sticky glued or super glued to the floor. You can open your arms out to the right and to the left if you'd like. Your feet are glued to the floor, but as you inhale, your knees will open away from each other. The big toe mound is still glued to the floor, so it doesn't go anywhere. And then as you exhale, the knees come back into each other and the pinky toe is glued to the floor, so it doesn't go anywhere. And so you've got about 5 to 10 of these, and you're just going at your own pace. We're trying to make sure that the 2 innominate bones of the pelvis are in line, so that if we do a back bend, your spine will be happy. And so you're just noticing how one leg works potentially a little bit different than the other. You'll also notice that the ankle might have to work a little bit differently because of the movement of the knees. All right, let's do about 2 more. Great. And when you're done, go ahead and come back to stillness. And then let's wiggle walk our feet so they're hip distance apart. Okay. Draw your knees into your chest. Put the strap over your legs so your legs go through the hole of the strap. And then once your legs are in the hole of the strap, you can plant your feet back on the floor. Once your feet are on the floor, make sure they are still hip distance apart. So Julie, draw the strap up to the belly of your thighs. There you go. So your feet are not in the strap. The strap is only around your thighs. Here we go. And then you'll tighten the strap until it is taut enough that your thigh bones can stay hip distance apart. Feet are hip distance apart, thighs are parallel towards one another. And then let your heads fall back on the floor and let your arms open out to the side. And you can turn the palms to face up or down. Great. And then as you inhale, you'll just push through the feet, push out into the strap, lift the hips high. And then exhale, lower back down. And you've just got about 4 sets of these. And as you inhale and press up, notice if both feet are evenly pressing into the bridge pose. And as you lower down, notice if both hips are lowering at the same rate. And you're just noticing that the strap gives you a little bit of resistance feedback information to work with. Awesome sauce. All right, that's 4 sets. Bring your hands back alongside your hips. Option here to robot your elbows. So bend the elbows so the fingertips point up. Great. Imagine that you push those elbows down with the elbows bent and you're hugging your shoulder blades onto your back like you're squeezing the block behind you. Next in-breath, push through the feet, push out into the strap, push down through the arms, lift your hips high. Pause. Notice what's happening between your cervical 7 spine. So make sure that space is still lifting away from the floor by hugging your shoulders towards each other. And then push into the back of your skull, right between your ears, drawing your sternum to your chin towards your sternum. You might stay here with robot arms. You might extend your arms long underneath you. You might grab the outside edges of your mat. You might interlace your hands, but you've got 3 breath cycles here. But I want you to pay attention to seeing if you can discover something new in this shape right now. One of the fun things about our thoughts is I think that sometimes we just kind of let them go on autopilot. We don't question or challenge or investigate. And I was listening to Krista Tippett this week. Love that lady, by the way. And she was talking about curiosity being the first thing that we need for transformation, curiosity being the first thing that we need for growth, curiosity being the first thing that we need for connection. And so as you're here for these last 1 to 2 breath cycles, I'd like you to get curious. What do you notice here and now about your body, about your breath, about this shape? And when you're ready, you'll gently come down. When your pelvis makes its way back to the floor, you might want to untuck the shoulders just a little bit more so it feels like your arms can flop open, the collarbones can flop open, the heart can lift. Great. And then last few things before we set you up for Shavasana. Draw your knees into your chest. Remove your strap. And then go ahead and extend the legs long again and draw yourself onto your abdomen. So last little thing, especially for my neck and shoulders people, let's see how this goes. It's not exciting, don't worry. It's just to stabilize again. So bring your hands to your back, stacking your palms right on top of each other. Great. Now, as you inhale, sweep your right arm forward, give yourself a salute, lift your left leg up. And as you exhale, look to the left, swim the right arm back, lower the left leg down. And we'll do that on the other side. So inhale, right leg lifts, left arm sweeps forward, navel salute. Exhale, look to the left, reach the left arm back, lower the right arm down. Awesome sauce. 2 more sets on your own. So you're reaching one arm, opposite leg, coming to navel salute. You look back in the opposite direction of your arm as you lower that hand down. Great. Other side. And after you've done your 4 sets, you just pause. I think we're on set 3.5. Nice job, Julie. Great. And then just take a few breaths there, noticing what you notice. What can you find curious about this shape, this moment in time? Gently draw the other ear to the mat. So I've been thinking about this for today, at least at this moment, because it seems that if we can find a genuine sense of curiosity, we can find a genuine sense of engagement, which means we can find a genuine sense of change, not only with how we are with ourselves, but how we are with others. And that creates a new set of possibilities that are present. So as you start to roll back onto your backs, I'd like you to just check in and notice what new possibilities might be present in your body at this moment. And it might just start with a sense of curiosity. Do you wish to just go straight up to Shavasana? Do Do you want to go to Supta Baddha Konasana? Do you want to do some twists? Anything that enables you to start to connect with who you are at this moment instead of who you may have been in the past. When our thoughts, when our beliefs, when our actions are on autopilot, it, in the words of my teacher, basically means that who we were in the past is who we are in the present, which means who we will be in the future. But if we can get curious just about small little things, it has the potential to change the course of our trajectory in very profound ways. And so as you're exploring your body for these last few moments, I really invite you to notice, to explore with a sense of wonder what might feel good. Trusting that just because I chose, or just because we chose one thing in one moment, does not mean that we need to change or choose the same thing in this moment, or the next, or the next, or the next. It's one of those beautiful sentiments that comes from Louise Hay. Okay, so as you feel complete, let's make our way to our final resting pose. And I encourage you to set yourselves up really well. So if you're using props, allow your body to feel comfortable in relationship to those props. Trusting that every day that we come to our practice, we are a new body, new being, new set of situations and circumstances. And so we might need to change and alter how we are engaging with the shape or the props. Okay, and then once you feel like you're pretty established in whatever your shape is for this moment, let's end today with Nishta Dharana. So I want you to bring your awareness to your abdomen, to your navel center. And the ask is very simple. Just allow your mind to rest in the abdominal region and watch the breath as it enters and as it exits the body. So allow the awareness to rest in the navel center and just observe the body as it breathes in and the body as it breathes out. And if at any point you notice either the mind drifting away, going on autopilot in whatever way you tend to go in autopilot, allow your awareness to just come back to the simple ask of watching the breath as it inhabits the abdomen. And if conversely you find yourself getting so absorbed in that you start to space out, notice that too. And again, come back to the simple ask of watching the breath as it enters and as it exits the abdomen. We'll go ahead and continue with this practice for a few more moments, and I'll let you know when it's time to come out. Gently release the technique and slowly just become aware of whatever you happen to notice. Begin to expand your inhalation and your exhalation, inviting in a deeper breath into the body. And then gradually allow whatever movement feels most inviting to you to come back into your physical form. Gently make your way over to your right side. Gently, you'll draw yourself to a tall, comfortable seat. When you're vertical, I encourage you to take the opportunity to elevate your bum on a block or a blanket, anything that will let the spine be long and the breath be easy. When you're vertical, plant the hands wherever is comfortable for you. And then we'll end similar to the way that we started. So just becoming aware of the weight of the hands, the weight of the arms and the shoulder blades, becoming aware of the weight of the legs, the shins, your feet, noticing the weight of the pelvis, the jaw, the tongue, the eyes and the eyelids. And then notice the spaces of buoyancy, of lift, of lightness through the vertebra, through the collarbones and the armpits, through the ears and the crown of the head. Now draw your awareness to your nose and to the nostrils of the nose. And I want you to just observe for you which nostril is more dominant. Is the breath entering and exiting the right nostril more than it's entering and exiting the left? Is it the opposite? Or are both nostrils drawing air in at the same rate and sending air out at the same rate? As you continue to keep your awareness at the tip of the nose, I'd like you to become aware of the sensation of the breath as it comes in, really feeling it fill the nostril walls. And as the breath goes out, can you become curious about the actual flow of the breath that comes in and the actual flow of breath as it goes out? As you continue to just watch the breath as it enters and exits the body, you might notice that as the air comes in, as the air comes out, it feels like there's something that travels along with the breath, drawing it into the body and then drawing it out of the body. This might feel like energy, sensation, or tingling. You might start to feel this build somewhere around the third eye center as you continue to just watch the breath enter and watch the breath exit the nose. It's said that this energy that we experience traveling on the breath is our prana, it's our life force, it's our vitality. And the first stage in our meditative practice is really just becoming sensitive to it. So noticing that it's there. The second of the stages is to start to gather it. So once you've felt that, you might start to gather it behind the third eye center, feeling it collect or coalesce. Might feel like a throbbing. You might experience it as light, as a pulsation. Over time, we'll have the capacity to start to work with the third step, which is to consciously direct that energy in the way we wish to use it in our life. So you can either place that energy in the third eye center or draw it to your heart center, whatever feels best to you. And the task is to do it as effortlessly as possible. So you just set the intention and the energy will go there. It's already gone there. And just spend time sensitizing ourselves to it. Draw your hands to heart center, Anjali Mudra. Press the palms into each other. Receive the weight of the thumbs into your sternum and lift your heart towards your hands. Allow your chin to soften towards your chest. And we'll just take this moment to say an internal prayer of gratitude where we can become aware of sort of the airplanes that are flying around in our consciousness, whether or not they're operating on autopilot, or whether we can choose to direct our thoughts, our intentions, our actions, so that we can show up in this world, in our life, and in our relationships as we wish to. With that being said, the light within me, the pilot within me, honors and salutes the light and the pilots within each of you. Namaste.